Survivor Speaks is the name at the end of the day. People love me or hate me, I don't care either way. Breast cancer busted through like a leaf in the night. A cancer's ass was knocked out before the end of the fight. A champion coming through, knocking everything out. It's just hard if you see, I do nothing for clout. Just like cancer, I'll let nothing take me out. So be respectful when you step foot inside of my house. Over here to have your ass escorted on out. So hop up out the bushes, wipe your feet, take a seat, and get comfortable and chill with your girl. Survivor Speaks, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Who, what? I'm Survivor Speak. What time is it? What time is it? It's time for you to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time that I go live. Yeah, it's Survivor Speaks and it's showtime, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Peace. This video is being shown to you under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Smash that like button. Let's go. This video is being shown to you under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Smash that like button. Let's go. Good morning. The first thing I would like to say is I apologize. Why ain't nobody wake me up? I overslept, y'all. Sorry about that. That is definitely my fault. I woke up and thought I was, early. I was. Went back to sleep, and I guess I needed it. Your girl needed it. Late nights. I was up late. I got to make some, the donuts or whatever, because sometimes it's just not you gotta just, it's not, anyway. So I gotta make the donuts, and I was up a little late, and so I'm a little late this morning, but I am here. So good people, we're gonna get right into it. I kind of skimmed through some things, and I'm just like, oh wow, okay, oh well, right, all right. So not sure about what I like kind of skipped through. I'm trying to get the feed ready to go, and I'm like, well, all right then. Let me get on over here so that we can get right up into this. Let me just bring this over here. You guys all know that we were in deliberations yesterday when we left off with the Megan Boswell trial. It looks like there was a verdict.
I'm gonna get to that right away. And let's see what it is. I did not honestly did not look. I just was able to see that there was a verdict. Because when I started the feed, where it started, I'm like, all right, they talking about something, y'all. But I'm gonna wait, hopefully my people didn't go nowhere else. But if you did, it's understandable. So let me see what's Twitter got going on over here. Twitter, yeah. So we right now on there. Twitter is not heavy yet. But hello to the people on Twitter watching on Twitter. Like I always say, I wish they would consider coming over here because they be kind of heavy over there on Twitter. So we're gonna get right into it. Like I said, I believe there is a verdict. So I have to skim through to see what is going on, but let me just say hi to the people in the chat really, really quick. We're going to get right into it. Emily Stokes, good morning. I saw you from the door, Royal Bristolian. Good morning. Good morning. We have Chloe out. Okay, here we go again, Chloe. Good morning, Chloe. Good morning. Good morning. Emily Stokes, I didn't put your comment on the screen, but good morning to you. Hopefully you're still here. Good morning, Child Diggy, Child Diggy, Child Diggy, the coldest mod on the YouTube street. Good morning, forever, for always, forever for life. Good morning. Let's see who else is here right now. Cat Not Williams was here. Yep. I don't see a comment from her, but I saw FFS was here this morning, and Rebecca Cry, Slim Life was here. I don't understand why these comments didn't come over, but I guess they are starting from when I started, and I was a little late. Sorry about that. Catnut Williams was here. Good morning. If you're still around in the bushes, Jazzy T. Good morning. FFS, I was excited to see you. Haven't seen you here in a minute, so we're gonna get right into it and jump right into what we have here for Monster Mom. The charge that was dropped was one of the false reporting charges. Like, we don't really care about that. The other charges, she is, so you didn't miss anything, Miss, go back up here because she asked a question. What did you miss? You was at work, you didn't miss anything. I'm tired. Listen, I was supposed to start at 9:45, and I don't know. Nobody didn't wake me up. Somebody probably tried to call me because I do have some missed calls. But I was tired. I was out, late last night, and so you haven't missed anything. We just read the charges, and now, do you guys want to see her? I'm gonna show you guys her. She's doing a walkthrough. Let's get her on the walkthrough after she's guilty. As the guilty monster is guilty, here she comes. I want to give you a good look at the walkthrough. Here's the walkthrough after she's guilty. Where's the smirk, Megan? Where is the smirk, Megan? You've been crying, obviously, Megan. Your nose is red and all that. You're looking a little like Rudolph. The bow don't matter. That's all a strategy. It is. It's part of the defense's strategy to make her look like this innocent person. Jury's ready. We'll bring. But we all know that she is she's not innocent. We all know that she is a perpetrator. Please do not spoil it for people in the chat that have not seen it. Whatever is coming up, please do not spoil it for the people in the chat. I have not watched any of this, and I would like to watch it. I don't want to read about what happened. I know you're excited, but please, please, please let us watch, because some people have not seen it on their own. I haven't. Chloe, we got the court reporter with the good old hair, with the good old hairstyle up there. Let me correct my banner for the day. I had this channel sponsors in from yesterday. Allie, what's going on, girl? I did see you. I meant to say hello. I'm sorry about that. Where's my Tat Cloud? She's normally here. FFS, I missed you. Where have you been, FFS? If I don't miss you, that means I don't care. But I missed you, FFS. I know I've been busy afterwards and all that, but I ain't seen you in here.
Stand, please.
Don't ask me, do we want to talk about it? Because we will. Let me see.
You may be seated. Thank you.
All right, General.
Judge, the state would introduce it. I'm sorry.
You can do an opening statement if you'd like to.
Okay, no, state doesn't do any opening statement.
Do you have an opening?
I do.
Okay.
FFS. She cried for a minute.
In
the back, we can tell she was crying.
I respect your verdict.
Let's see what lie he gonna tell this morning, y'all.
I have one more thing to ask you. You have to make a decision now, and that decision is it's going to mean the difference if you sentence Megan Boswell to life in prison. She'll be released when she is probably 69 years old. That'll be 8. She's been
What
in
a
jail.
number.
You probably realize she has been in jail since she was 18 years old. She went to jail February the 25th of 2020.
And we
She
don't
hasn't been
care.
released.
And we don't care.
So with that said, if you give her a life sentence, it would be 51 years. That's what I'm asking you to do. If you give her a life without sentence, she will never be released from prison.
That's what we
so
need.
it'd be the difference between her being released at what I believe would be 69 to 70 years old.
We need that one.
Or never being released.
That's the one we need.
In doing this process, and Judge Goodwin will read you some very short jury instructions comparative to what you heard yesterday. You look at statutory aggravating factors and mitigating factors. And in this case, the state will submit the age of the child as the aggravating factor. Our mitigating factors, we've listed
hold on a
several of those. They include no significant criminal history.
Yeah, we don't.
her use and age
I just
at the time
realized something.
of
I don't think y'all
investigation.
mods caught it.
17 when she had Evelyn. She was 18 when Evelyn died. You'll hear more about her unstable and chaotic home life. You'll hear from her mother, Angela Boswell. She's here today.
Oh, y'all caught it.
You'll hear from Angela about domestic violence that Megan witnessed between her parents.
Yeah, mods be on it.
You'll hear from Angela about drug use that Megan witnessed her parents.
We don't care about that. A lot of people had that in their life.
You also hear about her schooling. It wasn't seamless, and how one of her primary role models was her grandfather, Tommy Boswell's father. He died when I think she was 11 or 12 years old. You'll hear that. And then finally, you'll hear a little bit about her younger siblings, Elijah and Charlotte. Elijah has a disability that Megan has looked after him and tried to help take care of him.
How?
And then you're also feel free to look at any other thing you've heard in the proof and making that decision as far as mitigating factor. Anything else you've heard in all the proof from any of the witnesses, and also you'll probably hear from Gail Kite. You've heard from her once before, but you'll hear a little bit more from her about the shape Megan was in when she came into her home, and you'll hear from. We expect to call Mary Boswell. She is Megan's grandmother. I think most of you recognize the name of Mommy at this point. You'll hear from her and what she witnessed and her participation in raising Megan. So it's a hard decision. It's not a light decision. You've made a hard decision already. And it's my hope that after you see this, you will come to the conclusion that maybe at 69 years old, it would be fair for her to be released from prison.
I don't know how he can stand up there with a straight face, y'all. I'm just
Should have
saying.
proof.
Yes, Judge. This time the state will release a copy of birth certificate of Evelyn Boswell.
All right. That'll be exhibit 262. I'm going to keep the exhibits in sequential numbers, but I started a new sheet for the sentencing part. It'll be exhibit 262. Any other proof, Joe?
No, Judge. That's the state address.
Mr. Scott?
Who's we call Angel Boswell? Angel Boswell.
Her having a hard life does not equal to what she did. Like, I'm sorry. Not when people were offering help. It does not equal to what the freak she did. So all this other fluff that he's trying, I'm so sorry, y'all.
Raise your right hand, man. State your name for me.
It just
Solemnly
not.
swear affirm testimony about to give you the truth, the whole truth, and the truth, man. Have a seat.
It
If you pull the
just
microphone down,
not.
talk straight into that microphone. Actually, you know what? I need to switch these.
Yeah, he did it different, JT. A lot of us had a hard life. We didn't unalive our children. And in a manner that she unalived her children. I mean, her child. I'm sorry, children.
Ready to go, Judge? Ready. Ma'am, state your name for the record.
Angela Boswell.
You are Megan Boswell's mother.
I am.
Ms. Boswell, you know the purpose of being here today.
I do.
I want to ask you some about Megan's home life and growing up, but I guess I want to ask you first a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
No.
And I'm asking you these questions, Ms. Boswell. I'm not trying to embarrass you or test any
No,
of
sir.
these questions.
No.
You married Tommy Boswell when you were how old?
First time 15.
Can you speak into that microphone just a little more, please?
The first time 15.
And when did you become pregnant with your first child with him?
I had my first in April and turned 16 in July. So,
And who was that child?
Oh, okay.
Tommy Jr.
Okay. And then you had Megan at some point. How old were you when you had Megan?
There's 8 years difference. I was almost 24.
It's okay. So let's talk about Megan's life growing up. Would it be fair to say that during her lifetime she's witnessed drug use between you and her father?
Yes.
What type of drugs?
Opiates, mainly.
Scoot up and speak into that so the jury can hear you.
Opiates, mainly.
Did that drug use lead to other problems?
Yeah. Arguments, fighting, yes.
Okay. You say there
Strife.
Strife.
That's what it brings, yes. Non-stop.
Is that something that went on pretty much her entire childhood
Yeah.
growing up?
Yeah, from the time she was pretty little, yeah.
Okay. Good. Now, did she witness fights between you and her father?
Yes.
I think at some point her father was convicted of aggravated assault and kidnapping.
Yes.
Were you the victim in that?
Yes.
Do you remember ever taking Megan to any NAA meetings with you?
Yes, I did.
How old was she when you did that?
Really. She was probably about 7 or 8. First ones I started taking her to. 7 or 8, 8 or 9, around in there.
Now she, due to the strife in your home, was she raised by her grandparents to some degree?
Yes.
Okay. What were their names?
Mary and Danny Boswell.
Okay. Mary Boswell, would that be who's known as a mom?
Comment
Yes.
of the day.
These problems, do you feel that it's partly your fault, the problems Megan's experienced?
No, absolutely. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
And unfortunately, your problems, that they went on up into, we saw a video in here of you being brought down from the jail to talk with her in 2020.
Yeah.
So even up until the time she went to jail, you were being out of jail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I've been.
Have you been convicted of numerous crimes?
Yes.
Now, have you managed to straighten up at this point?
I have, yes.
Are you hoping to?
Yes, I pray every day and just, to do my best and try. I've learned the importance of a mother's role, but not for Megan, I didn't.
All right.
I failed her on that miserably.
And you're here asking the jury to give her a sense of life as opposed to life without.
It's
Oh.
Maggie is, at her core, she is a generous, kind-hearted person. And through all Maggie's went through, Maggie still has potential. She was trying so hard. She didn't repeat my mistakes. Maggie learned from my mistakes. She was trying to do better with Eve. She wasn't repeating. I think she got saddled with, just because of my mistakes that she did those, and that wasn't it. That was not the case with her.
Would it be fair to say she didn't have a good role model for the mother she
No,
be?
no, she did not.
Answer any of Ms. Massengill or Mr. Harper's questions.
I don't have any questions, Judge.
Prentice.
Judge, at this time, I have some judgments of conviction on Tommy Boswell. I'd like to put in by agreement with Mr. Harper.
No, Judge, good.
Okay. I'm going to ask these to be made the next 4 exhibits.
She cries for herself.
Mr. Scott, I want to enter on case number 61078 as exhibit 263, and the other 3 pages are 3 counts of the same case, so I'll make that a collective 263.
What is that case number, Your Honor?
62497. Yeah, the first page is 263, case 61078, and case 62497. Those 3 pages are 263.
Your Honor, defense will call Gail Kite. Kite.
It's KYTE, right?
I believe so, Your Honor. I'll have her spell it. I think she was a witness in the trial when I go back to that.
Raise your right hand. State your name, please.
Gail Kite.
Ms. Kite, you solemnly swear from testimony you're about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Speak into the microphone.
Ms. Kite, good morning.
Good morning.
Just so
No.
I make sure here, spelling your last name is a K-Y-T-E.
It is.
And Ms. Kite, you've previously testified in this hearing as a state's witness. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Well, thank you for coming back for this part of it. I know Ms. Boswell appreciates that. How long have you been working in foster care?
15 years.
Do you remember when Megan Boswell came to you?
I do.
Do you recall what kind of shape she was in or state?
She was in bad shape. She was one of the worst children that I brought in as far as neglect.
What do you mean by that?
She was very malnourished. She's very skinny. Her hair was matted to her head with lice. Impossible to even get a comb through.
Okay. Well, when she came to you, were you given any background? I imagine in foster care you're given background or information of where this child is coming from. Were you giving any of that?
I was.
And what were you preparing for?
In the intake papers, it mentioned trauma. It mentioned rape.
Did it give you any background or any information about her family background or makeup?
Not really.
Now, you said she came to you with lice. What did you do to try to help Megan?
That's the first time I heard that.
Well, I took her to a beauty shop because there was no way to even begin to get a comb through. It was horrible. The beauty shop wouldn't touch it. They told me, I offered to pay them $100 to go out back to cut her hair. And they said that they couldn't do it. Finally, the agency that we were with found a beautician that met me at a church that was willing to come in and give Megan a haircut. They gave her a bob, which looked really cute on her. But even after that we could get a comb through, it took close to 3 weeks, maybe a month, to get rid of the lice. Were just so bad. I had to get prescription medicine from the doctor. We got 2 bottles of that. I bought the comb that you run through that's supposed to kill the lice. And I know I practically traumatized the poor child because we'd go out on the porch and I'd run that comb through trying to make sure we got all the lice. And she'd sit there and tears would run down her hair. She got tired of me. It wasn't a pleasant situation. And then even when you do that, you still got to go through. You've got to thoroughly clean the bedding. Everything in the room has to be taken down, washed in hot water. But it was a rough time for her, very rough.
And you may have said, but she came to you how old?
She was 17 years old.
She was pregnant.
17, pregnant, scared, didn't have a place to go.
And you believe that she had been raped or violently sexually assaulted. Were you given any background or information about her family, her mom and her dad?
I knew Mama was in and out of jail, and I knew her daddy owned a business.
Okay. Were you able to come to the opinion that she essentially came from a dysfunctional family?
I did.
Okay. And how long did she stay with you?
She stayed 4 months. When she came in, we got to work, got rid of the lice, got her registered for school. Where she was pregnant, she chose to do online schooling. She worked really hard getting her diploma. If a test didn't go right, she was on the phone the next day with the counselor getting it reset. I never had any problems trying to get her to do her schoolwork or anything. She hung with it.
Did she ever cause you any problems, disciplinary-wise,
She
or
was
anything like
coming
that?
to you
No.
with life.
Never?
No,
And did she seem to be thriving in a structured environment?
she did. She did.
Was she making friends?
She did.
Did she seem to be progressing and coming out of the state she was in when she came to you?
She very much so.
And she was with you for 4 months. Did you form a bond with her?
Oh, I did. We took up together immediately. It was during the winter. She learned me how to play card games. Winter days, we'd sit there and we'd play. Baby'd sleep. We'd play cards.
She learned
But we
me.
formed a bond.
Did you take her to doctor's appointments?
I did.
How did she seem to feel about becoming a mother?
She was very excited.
Did you have conversations with her about that?
I did.
Did she seem to fully understand her roles and responsibilities of what was going to be required of her?
She did. Megan practically raised her younger sister Charlotte and her brother Elijah. She had plenty of experience with younger children.
So why did she unalive
How'd you know
hers
that?
then?
Well, mostly from conversations with Megan, and I could tell by the way she took care of Evelyn at the house. You know, she knew how to heat bottles. She knew how to change the diapers. She got up when the baby cried.
Did you ever have to tell her to do those things?
No. Me and my husband never once woke up those 4 months when Evelyn woke up in the middle of the night. Megan would take care of her very well.
And I ask you, and I want to clarify that, if you ever took her to doctor's appointments, she was with you when she came to you pregnant. Did you go to the prenatal appointments?
I did.
And did you go to follow-up appointments with Evelyn's pediatrician?
I did.
Okay. So you were involved through the whole process, really?
Those 4 months, yes.
Okay. At some point in time, was Megan taken from your home and placed back somewhere else?
She done trial visits to go back to Tommy's.
Okay.
There was a process in the foster care system.
I understand.
She done weekend visits, or at first it was just visits, and then it led to weekend visits.
How'd she feel about that?
She seemed okay with it.
Eventually was Megan placed back in the custody and care of her family?
She was. She went back to Tommy's house.
Tommy, you mean her father?
Yes,
Okay. And did you maintain contact with her?
I did.
How often?
We text back and forth it wasn't a daily time, but I want to say once a month, couple times couple times a week. It's just according to what was going on and what pictures she had took of Evelyn.
When you were talking to her, did you eventually learn that maybe things were kind of getting back off the tracks again?
I did. In April, I received a call from her foster care worker saying that Megan had been needed some help, and even though she was out of the foster care system, would I be willing to go and help her out? And I said no problem. So I called Megan. She told me that her mother had dropped her off at a church. She had drove off and left her and Evelyn there. She had took Evelyn's diaper bag, the baby's supplies. So I told her I'd be right there. I went and picked her up. We went to Walmart, bought baby bottles, formula, diapers, the stuff that a baby would need.
Where did you take her?
We went back to my home. She spent the night. Her and Evelyn they took showers, a good night's sleep.
Okay,
But
so
then the
she
next
had people
morning,
that was willing to help
she
her,
wanted to go
as
back
I
to
said.
her mother's family's home.
Where's that at?
Now, I'm not sure. The place that I took, her grandfather was in the hospital, and she wanted to go there to
LBD.
meet up with her family. So when she left my home, I drove her to the hospital in Kingsport, And she assured me that she would be perfectly fine, and her and Evelyn got out.
It'd be fair to say that Megan wasn't getting maybe the familial support from her parents that she was needing at that time.
Yes.
Okay. I imagine over this time, Ms. Kite, that did you ever meet Tommy Boswell Sr. or her mother, Angela?
I had never met Angela, but I'd met Tommy several times.
You said you agreed that she probably come from a dysfunctional family. Let me ask you this. She lived with you for 4 months and you stayed in contact with her after she moved out. Your opinion, you know her, you talked to her. You think Megan ever knew what a normal family looked like?
No. No.
Did she crave that?
I think so.
Was she wanting that for Evelyn?
I think so.
Well, it's obvious why we're here today. You know why you're testifying. Are you asking this jury to just give her life?
I am, with the possibility of parole. This child has been traumatized. She's made bad mistakes that has to be paid for. But I think she deserves a chance to come back out to the real world. I don't think she's irredeemable. I think she can become a functioning citizen.
Ms. Kite, I thank you again. If you would answer the questions the state has for you.
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Right, because she was willing to help her, not only
Megan
her.
Boswell.
I hope they don't let this. Let's get back to Evelyn and how she left Evelyn in the garbage. And I agree with the comment. If she took care of her brother the way she said, the way they said, then she knew how to take care of Evelyn. She knew that Evelyn could be placed with people that could take care of her if she couldn't. If this was a mistake, she should have said that from the door. Something happened, this was a mistake. Without all the putting on the aluminum foil, without all that other stuff, and explain what happened. People would be more sympathetic. But the route she chose,
Raise your right hand and state your name for me.
Mary Boswell.
Ms. Boswell, you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
If I see reference to your name,
okay.
Ms. Boswell, I'm Gene Scott. How are you?
Pretty good.
Lord,
We're here today because the jury's trying to decide how long Megan will have to stay in prison. I want you to, I guess, your name is Mary Boswell.
Not Mary Boswell.
Okay. How do you know Megan?
Sir,
How do you know Megan?
she's my granddaughter.
Okay. Are you Tommy Boswell's mother?
Yes, sir.
And obviously you've known Megan her whole life.
All of her life, I started keeping her from the time she was 2 months old till she was grown, off and on, not all the time, but off and on.
What was that in part because of problems between your son and her mother, Angela?
Sir,
Was that because her parents were having
no,
problems?
she just loved me and her papa, and she stayed with us, and we loved her, and so we keep her a lot.
Okay. Were you aware of the violence issues between Tommy and Angela?
No, I didn't live in their home or nothing. I don't know nothing about what went on in their home, sir.
Okay.
We pick her up and keep her until she want to go back and like that, off and on.
And have you always lived down there on the same property Tommy lives on? Or
I've never lived there for maybe 20 years, 21 or 2 or something like that.
she lived there almost all of Megan's life.
Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. And you're aware, you told me, I think one of Megan's role models was your husband, your late husband?
Sir,
Your late husband, he was one of Megan's role models?
yes, we loved her like she belonged to us.
Okay. And, when did he pass, man?
11 and a half years ago. Soon to be 12 this summer.
So that would have been when Megan was, I guess, what,
Yeah, maybe 12 years old or
12
something.
years old?
Mhm.
Did you see that take an impact on her?
Yes, it did.
And are you here asking this jury for leniency today?
Yes, sir, I am.
Asking them not to give her a sentence of life without parole?
I hope they don't, sir. I love her like she's. I hope they don't give her the sentence like that. I'd love to give her my home if I could take her home today. That's how much I love her.
I understand.
oh
Thank you,
wow,
Mr.
now
Boswell. Is there any
everybody
Mr.
should
Harper,
come
Mr.
stay with
Boswell?
everybody now.
No questions, Judge.
Ms. Boswell, thank you so much.
Okay, I see.
Thank you for going down there.
Now everybody's willing to take her. Now she can stay with y'all and all this other kind of stuff. But she could stay before. She didn't want to stay. She wanted to be on her own. She wanted to be with a man.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll have you go with the officer for just a minute. It won't take long. Everyone,
One second, please.
What they got going on now? Some bullshit. Some bull schnizzle.
You may be seated, thank you. Now, approach. Megan, we've talked about this before. You understand you have a right not to testify?
Yes.
No one can force you to testify. We'll start this over since we didn't have the microphone up. Megan, you understand you have a right not to testify, and if you don't testify, the jury may not draw any inferences from that failure to testify. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Likewise, you have a right to testify, and no one can keep you from testifying if you wanted to.
Yes.
After consulting with me, Mr. Ford, and talking about your case and hearing what's happened here in court and all the evidence, do you wish to testify or not?
No.
You do not wish to testify?
I do not wish to testify.
Ms. Boswell, you're still under oath from yesterday or the day before. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any other proof? And before we bring the jury in, one thing that I forgot to do yesterday, when we excused the alternates, I took the contents of one of their books and the cover page. I gave that to the court reporter, and that would be designated as Exhibit A, the letter A, for identification only, so that it's part of the record as to what those notebooks were. All right.
Oh, what the heck happened?
Judge, say what it is.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what happened? What is going on with court TV? Y'all, that's so I guess that they I don't know if they privated the other videos, but we have a video here. So they're doing the rebuttal arguments. So we'll just go here. Like, what the heck is going on? But anywho.
Grace and love. General Boswell told you about those mitigating factors. You'll get them in your jury instructions. Spare her life and give her life without parole. If there's anything good can come from this, is that we can all move forward, knowing that you got your verdict that you wanted, and you ended it.
Yeah,
with the
I don't know what
emotion of love
happened.
and compassion. That's what will be remembered. And I hope that's what you do. Don't be remembered for just compounding the tragedy and the tragedy and the tragedy. So easy to do that.
I think that was wrong, that he should not be allowed to say that.
Would you give
What he
Megan,
just said.
would you give this community,
He should not be allowed to have
love
said
and
that.
grace and still be family with all of this? And we ask you to give her life. And let her have a chance to come out one day. That's justice as well. Justice for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. General.
Thank you, Judge. Ladies and gentlemen, your job at this point is to determine whether or not the state has proven the aggravating factor that we alleged. And as General Massengill told you, that was simply related to the age of the child as well as the age of Ms. Boswell. And clearly through her birth certificate, we have proven that aggravating factor. So then your job will be to weigh the mitigating factors that the defense has put on for you against that aggravating factor, which we have met our burden of proving. Mr. Horns asked you to end this case on the right note, and they would agree. You should end this case on the right note, and you should show Megan Boswell the same compassion and grace that she showed Evelyn.
Exactly.
Evelyn wasn't shown any compassion. She wasn't shown any grace. You know, the one person that Evelyn should have been able to rely on to protect her, to keep her safe, abandoned her, discarded her.
Like she was a piece of
She
garbage.
doesn't deserve your passion, your grace. The state asks that you weigh the aggravating factor that we've proven in this case, the fact that Evelyn Boswell, at the time she was dumped in a trash can, wasn't even 13 months old, never had a chance. We ask that you return a verdict we've requested of life without parole.
Thank you, General. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I've got another set of instructions I've got to read to you. In the criminal court for Sullivan County, Tennessee at Blountville, State of Tennessee versus Megan Boswell, defendant. Case S72869. Jury instructions. Fixing punishment of life imprisonment or life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. Members of the jury, you have now found the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of first-degree murder in the perpetration of a first-degree murder as charged in the first count, and first-degree murder in the perpetration of a felony as charged in the second and third counts of presentment number S72869.
Yeah, everyone, FFS, if he's here today, I'm happy for that.
It is now your duty to determine, within the limits prescribed by law, the penalty which shall be imposed as punishment for these offenses.
FFS is here today. I'm going to play it again. FFS is here today. He's not ignoring anyone. I'm happy to see him here. He has been, I was just picking with him, like we joke like that. He has not been feeling well. If he wants to tell you what's going on with him, then, you know, that's okay with him. But FFS is probably not going to be responding too much in the chat today. He said what he said about this case, but he has not been feeling well, and he's still not feeling well. So I was picking with him earlier, just joking. He has, you know, been around sporadically on the channels that he support. So if FFS is not responding, that is why he has been under the weather for, you know, going on like 3 weeks now. So FFS is not ignoring anyone. He just doesn't, he's not feeling well at all. And he's just coming back around.
Tennessee law provides that a person convicted of first-degree murder and first-degree murder in the perpetration of a felony shall be punished by imprisonment for life without possibility of parole or by imprisonment for life. A defendant who receives a sentence of imprisonment for life shall not be eligible for release until the defendant has served at least 51 full calendar years of such sentence. A defendant who receives a sentence of imprisonment for life without parole shall never be eligible for release. In arriving at this determination, you are authorized to weigh and consider any of the statutory aggravating circumstances proved beyond a reasonable doubt, and any mitigating circumstances which may have been risen by the evidence throughout the entire course of this trial, including the guilt finding phase or sentencing phase or both. The jury is the sole judge of the facts and of the law as it applies to the facts in this case. In arriving at your verdict, you are to consider the law in connection with the facts, but the court is the proper source from which you are to get the law. In other words, you are the judges of the law as well as the facts under the direction of the court. The burden of proof is upon the state to prove any statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt is that doubt created by an investigation of all the proof in the case and an inability after such investigation to let the mind rest easily as to the certainty of your verdict. Absolute certainty is not demanded by law, but moral certainty is required, and this certainty is required as to every element of proof necessary to constitute the verdict. The law makes you, the jury, the sole and exclusive judges of the credibility of the witnesses and the weight to be given to the evidence. The defendant has not taken the stand to testify as a witness during the sentencing hearing, but you shall place no significance on this fact. The burden is on the state to prove any aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. She is not required to take the stand in her own behalf, and her election not to do so cannot be considered for any purpose against her, nor can any inference be drawn from such fact. Statutory aggravating circumstances. Tennessee law provides that no sentence of imprisonment for life without possibility of parole shall be imposed by a jury, but upon a unanimous finding that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of one or more of the statutory aggravating circumstances, which shall be limited to the following. 1. The murder was committed against a person less than 12 years of age, and the defendant was 18 years of age or older. TCA 39-13-204I1. Members of the jury, the court has read to you the aggravating circumstance which the law requires you to consider if you find proved beyond a reasonable doubt. You shall not consider any other facts or circumstances as an aggravating circumstance in deciding whether imprisonment for life without possibility of parole would be the appropriate punishment in this case. Mitigating circumstances. Tennessee law provides that in arriving at the punishment, the jury shall consider, as previously indicated, any mitigating circumstances raised by the evidence which shall include, but are not limited to, the following. 1. The defendant has no significant history of prior criminal activity. 2. The youth or advanced age of the defendant at the time of the crime. 3. The defendant experienced an unstable and chaotic home life as a small child and teenager. 4. The defendant witnessed domestic violence and physical altercation between her parents in the home. 5. The defendant witnessed her parents participate in drug use and abuse as a child and teenager. 6. The defendant experienced numerous school transfers during her academic career. 7. The defendant's primary positive role model and protector died when she was 12 years of age or 12 years old. 8. The defendant had only limited access to positive family influences throughout her life. 10. The defendant participated as a caregiver to her handicapped brother and younger sister. 11. Any other mitigating factor which is raised by the evidence produced by either the prosecution or defense at either the guilt or sentencing hearing. That is, you shall consider any aspect of the defendant's character or record or any aspect of the circumstances of the offense favorable to the defendant which is supported by the evidence. The defendant does not have the burden of proving a mitigating circumstance. There is no requirement of jury unanimity as to any particular mitigating circumstance or that you agree on the same mitigating circumstance. Verdict: life imprisonment or life imprisonment without possibility of parole. If you do not unanimously determine that a statutory aggravating circumstance has been proved by the state beyond a reasonable doubt, the sentence shall be life imprisonment. You will write your verdict upon the enclosed form attached hereto and made part of this charge. The verdict shall be as follows. We, the jury, unanimously find that the punishment shall be life imprisonment. If you unanimously determine that a statutory aggravating circumstance has been proved by the state beyond a reasonable doubt, you shall, in your considered discretion, sentence the defendant either to imprisonment for life without possibility of parole or to imprisonment for life. In choosing between the sentences of imprisonment for life without possibility of parole and imprisonment for life, you shall weigh and consider the statutory aggravating circumstance proved by the state beyond a reasonable doubt and any mitigating circumstance or circumstances. In your verdict, you shall reduce to writing the statutory aggravating circumstance so found, and you shall return your verdict upon the enclosed form attached hereto and made part of this charge. The verdict should be as follows. We, the jury, unanimously find that the state has proven the following listed statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. Here list the statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances found. You shall then indicate on the enclosed verdict form either we, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life without possibility of parole, or we, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life. The verdict must be unanimous and signed by each juror. I've got verdict forms for you. Okay. I have verdict forms for you, and I will read those. Verdict form count 1. Punishment of imprisonment for life. We, the jury, unanimously determined that no statutory aggravating circumstance has been proven by the state beyond a reasonable doubt. We, the jury, therefore find that the sentence shall be imprisonment for life. Signature line, jury foreperson, signature line for each juror to sign. A date with a line. Verdict form count 1 continued. Punishment of imprisonment for life without the possibility of parole or imprisonment for life. We, the jury, unanimously find the state has proven the following statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. Check the box of any statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances you find beyond a reasonable doubt. Check box. The murder was committed against a person less than 12 years of age, and the defendant was 18 years of age or older. Below, check one box only. Check box. We, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life without possibility of parole, or check box. We, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life. Signature line, jury foreperson, signature line for each juror. Date, signature, blank. And the same exact form verbatim for counts 2 and count 3. Take the case, consider all the evidence fairly and impartially. Complete one of the 2 forms for each count. And report your verdict to the court. All right. Go with the officers.
Everyone stand, please.
What is going on with this sign, y'all? This criminal court sign. All right, so they're going to let's see. I think that they have already made a decision. Let's go and see about that, because this sign here is I don't know what they are doing today. Well, maybe not. Maybe they have not made a decision yet. Hold on. No. All right. So they're deciding whether or not she gets life with parole or life without parole. I think she should get life without parole. What she did was cruel to that baby. She didn't take into consideration, what she was doing as it relates to baby Evelyn. I'm not buying any of she had a hard life. A lot of us had hard times growing up. But it did not cause us in turn to hurt our children. And especially when some of us started having children, a lot of times people's lives was not always easy raising their own children. Like, suffering from, some people suffer from postpartum depression. They didn't know what it was. They just knew they had this feeling that something was going on, and some people fought through it and got through it even without seeking any medical help, but not harming their children. Some people have had children and did not know how they were going to feed, clothe, or house the child, but they made it through without her harming their children. So she was given a home to stay in rent-free, regardless to whether it was a trailer or not. Some people don't have that. And all trailer homes, like I said yesterday, are not garbage dumps. They're not. It's just just like people would. It's one of those, things that people say they put. Right now, the word is escaping my brain, but it will come to me. It's just, something that they say, oh, you live in a trailer park, your trailer. I don't want to and say the other word, because home is what you make it, regardless of where it is. And the circumstances around you don't always have to define your life and how your life ends. So irregardless to whether or not she went through some things when she was coming up, I would like to see a report, right, of her being 17 with this lice. I'm not saying that a 17-year-old cannot have lice. I'm not saying that. But I would definitely like to see a report of her having lice at the age of 17 while she was pregnant. For some strange reason, to me, I just believe that there was probably a little exaggeration here to garner sympathy from the jurors. Another thing here, the defense attorney again said something today that he should not have been allowed to say. Hold on a minute, I gotta remember it. I should have wrote it down. Y'all know I had chemoform brain, and I was like, why is he allowed? He should not be allowed to say these things. It was something that he said. It's gonna come to me. If not, I'm gonna find it and tell you. I forgot what it was. Yes, that's crazy. That girl Mia, that is crazy. And they never said that it was not. Yeah, it was. She injured 7, and they're really not reporting that she injured 7 babies in the NICU. So if they were in the NICU, that means that they were worse off than any other children that were, born with issues. If they're in a NICU, they can be in there because they're preemie and they need to, be a different weight. But sometimes those children in a NICU have additional issues. How is she given a $25,000 bond and sitting home? She just can't take care of anyone. Like, let me tell you something. The difference in the way that they sentence people, or the difference in the way that they give people bond versus not giving people bond is crazy. That's crazy. This is the world that we're living in. Sad to say, this is the world we're living in. And it is just it just behooves me that it just, that you can tell the difference in, like, the sentencing and who, bonds and all things like that. Depends who you harm. Everything is, comes into play when you look at these things on a grander scheme. It's just all crazy to me. I don't talk politics, but I'm going to talk about this. I don't know if you guys saw Elon Musk and his son at the president's, whatever he had yesterday. I saw a video, and did you hear the little boy when he said, "You're not the president, you need to leave"? Where would he get that from? Where would he get that from? He got that from his father, right? He heard his father say that. I just threw that in there because it was just definitely eye-opening to me and ear opening to me that little boy would say that. What was he doing there anyway? His mother was upset. She's like, "Why was he there? I didn't know that he was even going there. Why was he there?" I don't know. I feel like I'm in a roller coaster with all of these cases going on, with everything else that's going on in the world. And I've put on my seatbelt and just buckled up, for the ride. I normally just try to live my life and move forward. And not, because all you can do is live your life and move forward and do the best thing that is for you. I do participate in, elections, and I pay attention, but I don't let it consume my life. Like people let that consume their lives. It was just something that I saw that, yeah, I saw that, and it's just crazy to me. But yes, I do agree with this for always. Baby Evelyn is now an angel. She's can rest in peace. Give Megan life without parole. That's what she deserves. Nothing more or nothing less. Yeah, you have to. Are you talking about me, Chloe? More. I'm not going. I don't know if we're talking about anybody, any of us. This can be for all of us, because we all watch these trials. We all consume these trials, and yeah, every now and then. Yeah, he was cutie. Now I did like him. I love the kid. He doesn't have any filter. He didn't have any filter. I did like him. And I just saw clips. Of course, I don't have the I have the attention span, but I don't have the attention span to watch that type of stuff. But going back to what Chloe said here, and this applies to all of the content that we watch. We all watch these trials. We're consumed with these trials. The ASAP Rocky trial is not a funny trial, but it is funny when it comes to really. It is very funny. It's not funny what he's doing. I don't believe that he should take anyone from lie and be able to get away with, because he's looking for money, a money grab, to take that man away from his children. Maybe ASAP Rocky will, now you have to either get security, around the clock, even when you think you don't need it, because now you're going to definitely need it everywhere you go, because if they wasn't paying attention to you and the music that you made before, they are definitely paying attention to you now. So you need to definitely have security on deck. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that they just throw this out. There was some good things that came, out of this case, that are currently happening right now. The fact that they put an emphasis on the self-defense is a plus for Rocky. The fact that they stipulated to the prop gun ejecting 2 cartridges. However, the cartridges that were provided were not cartridges that would have been ejected from that starter pistol, prop pistol, whatever they're prop pow, whatever they're calling it. I think that is also a plus for Rocky. And I just think that the attorneys, even though we know that those attorneys are savages, and more than likely they will attempt to go through with this civil case because they think that they can win this case. And I'm sure that Rihanna and Rocky will assure that they have the best attorneys, and somehow bringing this, I don't know if it's allowed, some of this criminal case into the civil case. If the jury doesn't decide that, you know what, really got to understand he's a god dag on liar, throw this mess out. I mean, I think that that's what they should have done already, but we know Lewin, the prosecutor, is unhinged, and he's kind of hell-bent on going through with this case. So it's, I mean, he has to see the backlash that he's already getting from bringing his case, and the fact that Relly got on the stand and lied continuously. And then Lewin, you are trying to force the witnesses from the defense to agree to stories that fit your narrative, and getting shut down left and right. You were trying to tell turn, I believe, 12V ASAP 12V into ASAP Relly. It didn't work out that good for you, and I think the bigger thing would have been to put this back on Relly and walk away. I would have put this right back on Relly. You know what? We brought this case. We thought that even though you knew when you brought this case there was going to be big challenges, I would put it right back on Relly. You don't know Relly from a can of paint, but you're laser focused on ASAP Rocky. And you know what? It don't even really have anything to do with ASAP Rocky. It has everything to do with Rihanna. You can trust and believe that. Because ASAP Rocky, yeah, he I guess he's a star in his own right. I don't really listen to his music. I probably know some of his music, but don't know that he sings it. I don't know. I don't really listen to the radio like that. Certain artists, like, I go on the YouTube, and when they drop it, I watch a certain reaction channel on here. And and that's how I hear a lot of music. And then if it get, or my daughter's in the car, but my daughter listens to all genres of music. So we can be in the car, we can be listening to hip hop, we can be listening to R&B from way back before I was born. We can be listening to some country. My daughter listens to all genres of music. That's how I brought her up. Like, because I don't just listen to one genre. So she picked that up from me, and that's whatever. A lot of times when we're in the car together, it's whatever she is going with. That's what we listen to. Oh, excuse me. Oh yeah. For always, you had said something, and I had wanted to piggyback. To respond to that. I think it was you said you thought that the judge I just want to make sure that because you thought it was the judge that made the. Oh yeah. I thought the judge decides the punishment. Not in all cases. Not in all cases. Some cases like what they did today. Normally, more often than not, it doesn't. It does not happen. Normally, when they have cases like this, they schedule the sentencing phase for a different court date, and then they go and deliberate on that case, that sentencing phase, and then like the jury will come back and say what the verdict is, life with parole or life without parole or whatever, and the judge normally says what he thinks, because at that time he can say what he thinks, but then in some cases the judge does is the one that makes the ruling. Like in the Sarah Boone case, the judge it was up to the judge what the sentence was. He made it, the sentence. He basically did not even entertain Sarah Boone, and he just came right out and gave it to her. This is what it is. All right, see ya. So yeah, it doesn't always happen like that. And so yeah, so sometimes it's the judge, sometimes they have these hearings. All right, so let me looks like we are still waiting. Let me just refresh this to make sure that we are still waiting for them to come back with. And I don't think that this is going to be long, because they don't have. Listen, I'm with the person that said that what they got up there and said made it worse for her, because the mother coming in there with all of her issues, all of the mistakes that she made, and all of the time that she was not with Megan, she did not throw her away. And somebody else said that in the chat. I believe it was either I think it was for always. She didn't throw her away. It doesn't make a difference how hold on 1 minute, y'all. Let me, somebody just sent me some. Um, um, I have to just send respond to an email. Sorry. Um, Um, so yeah, we're waiting for them. They have not come back. I think yesterday we were reviewing a the video of this fool, her. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We were reviewing yeah, so she's not they're not back yet. I do know no, so that's what they're deciding on FFS. So that's what they're deciding on. So the jury is deciding whether or not she's going to get life without parole. Well, without parole or the possibility of parole. So that is the only that those are the only options that the jury has right now. So the jury is deliberating on that, which they're going to go with. So they just gave that little case with the with the defense calling those people, showing that she had mitigating circumstances and what have you. So we are waiting for the jury to decide whether or not she should get life with parole or life without parole. If she gets life without, she'll have to serve 51 years before she's eligible to be released. And even if she serves the 51 years, she still has to go to a parole hearing. And there are still people that can, speak at that hearing. Hopefully people will still, have Evelyn on their minds, and that they will show up to the parole hearings and say, hey, she should not be released. But if she's sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, then that's just what it is. The judge can make a statement about what he thinks or what he feels, or not. But no, that's what we're waiting on to see what they decide. I don't think that this should take too much longer. Having a life, where that's not, having a life with that, without having this silver spoon in your mouth and using all these excuses about why she should get parole, life with the possibility of parole is nonsense. There's a lot of children, and then the fact, like I said, they did not help her case at all. They hurt her case because it didn't help. It hurt. The witnesses hurt the case because all of these people getting on the stand saying that, oh, they loved her, they would have done this, they would have, even the foster mother, after she was the foster mother and she left her home, she even helped her afterwards. So does this make any sense. It makes no sense. What they're saying makes absolutely no sense. I mean, I didn't do anything for her. What it did was it hurt her. So, I mean, that's on them. The jury. I just hope that they weren't fooled. I hope that they looked at her face yesterday when they came back and said that they did not have a verdict yet, and that they were done for the day. And she sat there and she laughed. She laughed and she smirked yesterday when that happened. So I hope that they remember that. I hope that they saw that, because I definitely saw it. I'm like, what the hell is she smirking and laughing about? Like, what the hell is going on here? But yeah, she smirked, she laughed, like, yeah, like, no, she deserves exactly whatever you give her. She deserves life without the possibility of parole. The manner in which she took that baby's life is disgusting. It is horrible. And I don't care if she was 18 years old. That should not be a mitigating factor. She knew she wanted a great life. Just look at the Facebook videos that they showed. Her standing next to her new boyfriend's, the house that they wanted. Filling out an application for a party of 3. Oh, you, him, and Evelyn? No. Me, him, and the baby that I'm pregnant with, that she was not pregnant with. Like, come on, it's too many things. Too many things, that totally wash out all those mitigating factors not all of those, the mitigating factors. I think that and it's just my thought. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, but this is just what I'm feeling. I think that the foster mother got up there, and I think that she exaggerated about this lice thing. I'm not saying that she didn't have lice, but at 17 years old and she's pregnant, produce the pictures of her when she was 17 years old when she had the bob cut. Produce that. Is the person that cut her hair when she was 17 no longer here? Produce that person. But I have questions. I don't believe the foster mother. She tried to help her. She did help her afterwards, which further proves she had help. She had people that were willing to help. There were other people that came out during the trial and testified. They wanted to help her. I'm not buying it. I don't buy it. I just hope they get it right. That's what I'm hoping, that they get it right. Don't let this girl get away with this nonsense. She didn't cry not one time for that baby. We don't know who the father is, Mia. That's another that's another thing. We don't know who the father is, because the father that she was claiming had the baby all this time, the father that she was claiming got emergency custody of the baby. She should have known that the cops was going to just go to the court records and find that out before you got finished in that particular part of the interrogation, girl. They don't know who the father is. Her attorney said that it was going to come out in the trial who the father was. What came out in the trial was that Ethan was not the father. That's what came out in the trial. They didn't put on the case, so we don't know who the father is. So we don't know if Megan knows who the father is. It couldn't be Hunter. Hunter came after the fact. So yeah, Go figure, y'all, because this one here, laughed through this whole trial. She did not show any compassion, any empathy for unaliving her child. Now they want people to show her grace because of her upbringing. That don't add up. The math is not mathing. None of that. None of that. None of that. None of that matters at this point. All we need to hear this sentencing. Like because yeah, we have other things to look at. Like stick a fork in her. She's done. And even if she gets out at the age of 69, I said, oh, what an age. What an age that they might let her out at 69. Oh, what a number. She still won't have any life, but I wouldn't feel comfortable with her in my community. I wouldn't let her out. I would be livid if they let her out in the community. Livid. So, let me check and see if they are back. I just don't think that it's going to take them. It's going to take them that long. Hold on, I'm just trying to put this thing up here. So I can close this out. And we're going to be looking at some interesting cases that are current, but I do rewinds about cases I don't feel got a lot of I don't think it got a lot of I do cases where I don't believe that they got enough it didn't get a lot. It kind of like the case happened, and like a lot of people they don't know about these cases, and that light should be brought to these cases because they are important. And so I do rewinds on those cases. There are a lot of cases that I've watched that were very disturbing to me. And then I do a rewind on them, and people don't know about the cases. And so I do those, but I'm going to there are current cases that I'm interested in. So don't forget on March 7th, right? We have the hearing in the case of Naziah Harris. So Jarvis Butts will be in court on March 7th for a pretrial and calendar hearing. On that day, we should learn what date the trial is going to be starting. If you don't see a lot of Naziah content coming out on this page as of right now, there's really nothing to report. and people are grasping at straws and posting stuff that doesn't matter, stuff that we've already seen, stuff that is false. I'm not into reporting false reporting. It does nothing for me. It does nothing for the channel. It does nothing for the people that support and subscribe to my channel. I want my channel to remain a channel of integrity. And so that's how I report. So as of right now, they have not made it public. So they have not found any remains of Naziah Harris's. We do know the remains of the and Chloe, I'm not sure if you was here for that. We do know the remains of that that they found in that shallow grave turned out to be a 9-year-old boy, 9-year-old, male child. His name is Zamar King. His mother unalived him, buried him in that shallow grave. She moved to Clayton County. I don't know why they love Clayton County or why they love Georgia. She moved to Clayton County. She is under arrest. She was arrested. She had a 3-year-old child, and thank goodness the child was placed into into CPS's custody at the time. I hope that a good family takes him where he will be treated fairly. And I have to look to see if they already extradited her back to Detroit. But those were the remains that were found. It was those of 9-year-old Zamar King. And so that's why I don't report, on, false information, or just because the YouTubers is saying it. Like some people put up things for a click and a view, and that's just not who I am as a person. Not going to do it. Not going to be me. Never going to do that. She was not found her remains were not found burnt, and she was not found alive with a newborn child. So all of those reports are false, and I'm not reporting on them. I'm also not going to show videos of her brother, in an interview being asked questions I think that he should not be asked. He's saying a lot. And I think that is nothing wrong with him doing interviews, but it's certain questions that he should be asked, and certain questions shouldn't be asked. They need to stay away from those questions. When it relates to him, I did share a live that he did unprovoked. He decided to go live and do it on his own. So I will share something like that. But anything else regarding Naziah Harris, just to put Naziah Harris in the title, get a click and a view, and what I'm reporting is not true. I'm not going to do that. And everybody has a right to do whatever they want to do, but that's just not going to be Survivor Speaks. It's not who I am. And where y'all at, jury? It shouldn't take this long. Y'all got two choices: life without, life with. Let me go to another station just to make sure that that because their feed was bugging earlier. All right, so Court TV, they must have just maybe they took the video down and edited it. I don't know. Oh, they had technical difficulties, they said. Because I was like, wait a minute, what do they mean it's unavailable? So they had some technical difficulties when it went out and said it was not available. They had some technical difficulties at that time. Oh, yeah, so I guess Channel 5 had. So, yeah, we're still waiting for. Oh my God. Somebody said, I'm glad she got a good defense. She apparently needed it. What? Somebody's Lord. See, y'all have to, and I get it. People want to be godly. Somebody said they have compassion for Megan because God loves me. God loves me too. But this is not the work of the Lord. Sorry. When you have God's love and forgiveness, you are doing the right thing by having compassion on people who end up going the wrong way. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. We cannot forget. We cannot forget Evelyn. That's all I'm gonna say to that, because I don't want to say something that I shouldn't say, but I'm just reading a comment from somebody else on another feed, not in our feed, because every people in our feed have sense. But no, we care about Evelyn. Evelyn life was barely started before it ended, and then maybe we would have had a little more compassion if she didn't sit in the courtroom and make a mockery out of this case. If she didn't take the police on a wild goose chase while she made a mockery of this whole thing, while she lied on people, how about we give her mother a round of applause for you lying on your mother and her still coming to court and crying for you. Even though she did not give you the best life, she did have an addiction, all of that. She didn't deny any of that. But what I'm saying is, if somebody's going to say something like this, then we need to give her mother a round of applause for getting on the stand, admitting she did not give Megan the best life. She was not a great parent. Megan saw them fighting growing up. Her and her father fighting growing up. However, Megan is a good, she has a good heart. She took care of her two younger siblings. Right there is where she messed up. I don't know why them saying that she took care of her two siblings and they are handicapped, which means they're special needs. So she knows how to care for a special needs child. Then that means she knew how to care for her own daughter. So the foster mother said, oh yeah, she had the baby. We didn't have to tell her to get up. We didn't when the baby cried, we didn't have to tell her to change the baby. We didn't have to tell her anything. All of these things work against her. She loved her baby. Oh yeah, she loved her baby, but she also unalived her in one of the most disgusting ways possible. She loved that baby so much that she didn't want anyone else to have her. People offered to take the baby and help her. She didn't want that. So that means to me, you would rather see the baby unalive if the baby was not going to be in your care and custody. So FFS, my dad wasn't the best parent by a long shot. I ain't grow up to do unto others what I was subjected to. Don't make excuses. Correct. 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 A lot of people, parents didn't get it right. A lot of people's parents didn't get it right. And it did one of two things. It either forced you to be a better parent, when you had your own children, or forced you to be a better person, or it caused you to go down the same path that your parents went down. A lot of people decided, I'm not going to be my parents. I'm not going to be who my parents were. So I am going to make something better of myself to prove to myself that there is better out here for me. So when I have children, I can provide them with a different life than the one that I had. But she started off doing the right thing according to the people that are speaking up on her behalf. And this could have very well been an accident. But let's put the big but on it. Think back to what the pathologist said. If baby Evelyn was alive when she was put in the trash can, why would she take the time to wrap her face in aluminum foil, to put her, wrap her tightly in a blanket, swaddled? You know how you swaddle a baby when they're young, to put them to bed? It makes them feel like they're in the womb, kind of. That's what they seem to think. And so we swaddled, not swallowed, because swaddled. We swaddle the baby to give them that feeling, to make them sleep more comfortably. So here she is swaddling Evelyn, who is 15 months old. We don't swaddle children that old normally. So you tightly have this blanket, her swallow, even her head. We don't swaddle the baby's head when we're swaddling our children. That's the only part of the body that does not get swaddled in the blanket. Their head is left out so that they can breathe. So you took the time to wrap aluminum foil around her face, swaddle her whole body in a blanket. Was she alive when you put her in the trash can? Because how long does it take for her to, be smothered? Did you do these actions and put her directly into the trash can? Was she alive when she went into the trash can? It is reasonable to think that. And I didn't think that, like I said, that day it hit us like a ton of bricks when we were in here listening to that testimony. It hit us like a ton of bricks. What? And it kind of makes sense. So was baby Evelyn even alive when she put her in this trash can? This is all the things that need to be considered. And they want us to give her grace. I don't think so. I'm sorry. I don't want to be. Oh, okay, we're not doing you, because I want to leave it on so like when it comes on I can hear it, but they got music playing on the other channel. We'll leave it here. You break the right. You break the Mizi-Fiki cycle. Not just keep it going and make it worse for others. And that's what some people don't understand that. Like, so I read the other day, somebody said they don't want to hear about breaking the generational curse. So cycle is more what they would like to say instead of curse. Okay, so you didn't hear that FFS. It wasn't even on my live. It was a different live. Someone was talking and they said, "Oh, I'm not cursed." So it's like it's the cycle. Okay, whatever. What curse cycle? Break it. FFS also said that her father was there financially. He bought her car cash, and and it could be his guilt for being not able to be there for Megan when she was younger. But when she was in a foster home, he fought to have her, and so now today they want to try to throw stones again and say, oh, well, when she went back with the father, she started having trouble again. Well, when she went back with the father said she wanted to do what she wanted to do. She didn't want to clean a room. And we saw the pictures of the trailer that she lived in. And it was not that, it was disgusting. So no doubt he spent hundreds of thousands on me so your father for medical. I'll never forget that. I love him for it. But growing up, the emotional attachment wasn't there. And we get that, but you are able to identify, even though it is monetary, he did, help in that way, but emotionally, he wasn't there for you. So and I get that, like my mother and father wasn't together, but I spent most weekends with my father, who was a businessman, and my mother was I almost lost my mother at a very young age. I'll never forget. And my father, I lived with my father at that time. So my father was a very emotional father. So I didn't, a lot of people don't have like the life that I had. I also had a stepfather who was the same way. It just was hard to differentiate the two, because I was treated like I was his daughter, and financially, emotionally, he didn't play about us. So I had that. A lot of people don't have that. My father, he yelled at me one time in his life and cried. Like, bruh, what are you crying for? That's what I'm mad. I'm a teenager. Like, bruh, you crying? What you crying for? You didn't even do nothing to me. Yeah, but that was my father. Some people didn't experience that, like FFS is saying he didn't. He didn't experience that. And some fathers are there financially, and they think that that is all that they can do, but they don't realize how they're tearing a child down. Because a child would rather have emotional connection than to have monetary things, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like, we break our pockets buying all of the fancy things that we want our kids to have because we didn't have it. And a lot of times they're like, so with my daughter, I learned, I had to be like, wait a minute, hold on now. She don't care about none of that North Face. She didn't care about any of that. So I'm out here buying North Faces and just sitting in the closet, and I find myself having to give this stuff away. So I said, you know what? What are we doing? So my daughter, when she starts saying she likes stuff, all right, it wasn't, it was things that, I would buy her on my own, but some things I wouldn't. And she wear it. She went through that anime looking phase. She went through that. She went through the whole. It was a lot. And now she's just my daughter has always she's just been different. And so I know she wanted a black pair of Doc Martens, right? And so she asked her father, and then he said something like, "Oh, she's dressing like a kid that will go to the school and pow it up." And I said, "That's a stereotype for one. For two, like that's Doc Martens. They are not the only people that wear Doc Martens. Are you crazy? So you're just used to Timberlands all the time. That's all you know. Timberlands and Air Force Ones. No, Dr. Martens are very. A lot of people wear Dr. Martens. Like, what are you talking about? And secondly, the school that she goes to, like, I mean, it was popular in the school at the time that she goes to. But don't tell her that. I had to say, don't, I don't talk to, him really only regard my daughter, but don't, and now we don't even have conversations about that. She is old enough that they have their own relationship. I don't get in the middle of it. Like, yeah, she love him. I don't like him. But that's, neither here nor there. She'll never hear that come out my mouth. Because I don't believe in holding children from their father. But don't put that in her head. That's stupid to me. Like for you to even say something like that because of something that you're thinking in your little world and your little mind. Like and you don't even really know. You can tell that you branch out, open your mind. Further your brain, like open your brain, like your brain span is tight, small. Like they're not the only people that wear Doc Martens. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, it's not weird, FFS. It's definitely not weird. It's not weird. Yeah, it's not. It's not weird. Like some things happen. Some parents do the right thing. Like right now, I'm mentally I cannot take care of a child right now, and I would rather somebody take care of the child that can take care of the child rather than me keep the child in my life and keep the child in my life and not do right by the child. So there's a lot of people that don't meet their parents until a certain age. And whatever the reasoning is, that's what the parent will have to work out with the child. And if they can get past that, and they can get past it. Some people can't get past it, even if the parent does come into your life at 6 years old. Like, you're still fairly young, but like you have some people that are just like, you wasn't in my life until I was 6 years old, and da 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 da. And every chance they get, they throw it in the parent's face. But what if the parent was doing what was best for you at that time? The parent could have been, a parent could have been a mess and just not able to take care of a child at the time. And so, like I said, they do what's best for the child, even if we don't understand it. So, it's not weird. It's just, whatever the reasoning was for her not coming around until you were 6, maybe she was, there was something going on. I believe it's not, it's more common than you probably think. So that's what I'm trying to say. To the weird part, it's more common than you would, than you think. And this jury is still out. I might have to I might have to end this and go on out and do some things and put Cat Not Williams on in the air and make another video for the ASAP Rocky trial. I know a lot of people are, went over there for ASAP Rocky because Flesh is not going live until 8 from what I see. Closing arguments are going on. Let me bring Cat Not Williams back on here. Because I see people have already left, and I know that that's where, everyone is. Let me click over here and turn it off and just, say hello, and then I'm going to say hello to Kat, and I'm probably just going to redirect this over there to Kat, and watch out for Megan, and I can always start a new video on. I don't think they're going to be out long, but yeah, not me sitting here is not. I need to go out and make the some donuts. I'm going to just redirect over to Kat, and I'll keep checking. I'll keep checking to see what's going on with Megan, and I'll go live later with whatever they come up with. Let me see. Let's see, girl, if you're still able to go on ahead. I think everybody over here is probably over there god dog on it anyways, but yeah. So I'm going to redirect this over to Kat, and when they come back, because everybody that's here is probably over to Cats anyways, I'm going to redirect over to Kat, and then we'll come back if they decide to come, if they come through with something, I'll come back. You guys know it wouldn't be me. I still have to end my show this way by raising awareness that men can get breast cancer too. Because of the stigma associated with the word breast, we've started using the term pec and or chest cancer. Let's continue to break the stigma and spread awareness. And to my ladies, please make sure you're getting your mammograms, filling on your boobies to make sure that you are all right. All right. And don't you dare let anyone come into your house and disturb the peace that passes all understanding. I'm Survivor Speaks, and I will see you guys later on. And this live will redirect to Cat Not Williams for the ASAP Rocky trial. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Survivor Speaks is the name at the end of the day. People love me or hate me, I don't care either way. Breast cancer busted through like a leaf in the night. A cancer's ass was knocked out before the end of the fight. A champion coming through, knocking everything out. This is how if you see, I do nothing for clout. Just like cancer, I'll let nothing take me out. So be respectful when you step foot inside of my house. Over here to have your ass escorted on out. So hop up out the bushes, wipe your feet, take a seat, and get comfortable and chill with your girl. Survivor Speaks, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Who, what? I'm Survivor Speak. What time is it? What time is it? It's time for you to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time that I go live. Yeah.